As we all know, the rheumatoid arthritis is a systemic disorder characterized by chronic inflammatory polyarthritis of unknown etiology. Inflammatory state also involves skin, eyes, lungs, and blood vessels. There is a fluctuating clinical course and an unpredictable prognosis. It's associated with 60% increase in the risk of cardiovascular disease-related death, and there is a complex and multifactorial pathogenesis. If we look at the pathophysiology of rheumatoid arthritis, it is characterized by activation of macrophages by antigen-presenting cells and T cells, which causes release of inflammatory cytokines from macrophages, mainly tumor necrosis alpha and interleukin-1. And the result of this release of inflammatory mediators is synovitis, production of collagenase, which leads to destruction of extracellular matrix, and there is a release of MMPs, which leads to cartilage degradation. As far as pathology of osteoarthritis is concerned, again, it is an inflammatory condition. Here also, it is being characterized by tumor necrosis alpha and interleukin-1. They are the major cytokines involved in the pathogenesis. And apart from there are other cytokines and inflammatory mediators. They also induces an inflammatory reaction. So the ultimate outcome is the release of all these inflammatory cytokines causes synovitis and articular cartilage damage. In short, the pathophysiology of both rheumatoid and osteoarthritis is characterized by tumor necrosis alpha and interleukin. They are the major inflammatory cytokines. And release of these inflammatory cytokines is regulated by nuclear factor kappa B, NFKB. NFKB is a transcription factor present in all the cells, and it plays an essential role in inflammatory and immune responses. NFKB acts as a master switch to turn inflammation on and off. Disorders which are due to NFKB activation are rheumatoid arthritis, osteoarthritis, ankylosing spondylitis, psoriatic arthritis, and juvenile rheumatoid arthritis. The NFKB is the master switch of inflammation. With activation of NFKB, which provides an inflammatory stimuli, there is a translocation into the nucleus, then there is an activation of genes encoding inflammatory mediators, and there is a release of all these inflammatory mediators, as I already said earlier. So what is the net effect of release of all these inflammatory mediators? It has got different effect on different tissues. On the synovial membrane, it causes inflammation and proliferation of synoviocytes, leading to pannus formation. On chondrocytes, increased activity of COX-2 and MMPs causes destruction of the cartilage, and on the bone, it causes osteoclastogenesis and bone erosion. So NFKB plays a crucial role in inflammatory and immune responses through the regulation of genes encoding pro-inflammatory cytokines and inducible enzymes. An innovative option for the management of arthritis, which is a nuclear factor kappa B NFKB inhibitor. The name is curcumin. It is diphyrolylmethane. It is a biological active phytochemical compound obtained from the rhizomes of Curcuma longa. It possesses diverse properties like anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, anti-proliferative, and anti-angiogenic. There are more than 65 clinical trials with more than 1,000 patients completed, and there are more than 35 ongoing clinical trials related to this molecule. Its role is that it is an NFKB inhibitor, and it controls the master switch of inflammation. It has got multiple sites of action, curcumin. It prevents activation of NFKB by inhibiting IKB enzyme, IKB kinase. It prevents translocation into the nucleus. It prevents release of inflammatory mediators. That is the net outcome. Now, what is the evidence of curcumin in the management of rheumatoid and osteoarthritis? I'll just describe few trials, few clinical studies. This is a comparative study where curcumin was being compared with the diclofenac. In one group of patients, the curcumin was being used alone, and in another group of patients, the curcumin was being combined with the diclofenac. And the net effect was, when the curcumin was being combined with the diclofenac, there was a 50% reduction in the CRP level. And CRP, as we all know, is an indicator of inflammation. So curcumin is effective and safe in patients with active rheumatoid arthritis. There is another pilot study of curcumin where 18 patients with rheumatoid arthritis were treated with curcumin for 2 weeks, and curcumin improved joint swelling, morning stiffness, and walking time. It was very well tolerated and with better gastrointestinal tolerability. There are few trials they have been conducted in patients with osteoarthritis. In real life experience with curcumin monotherapy, 822 patients with osteoarthritis were treated with curcumin for a period of 6 months, and the results were very encouraging. It provided significant improvement in pain, it improved joint flexibility, and it also provided better quality of life. The important thing was that the 50% of the patients were able to discontinue use of NSAIDs and analgesics once they started using curcumin. And it was very well tolerated. That is the most important thing. In spite of taking it for 6 months duration, the side effects were practically nil. There was another comparative study of curcumin with the ibuprofen. 360 primary knee osteoarthritis patients with a pain score of more than 5 were randomized to receive ibuprofen 1200 milligram per day or curcumin for 4 weeks. And the results were almost comparable in both the groups. There was a significant decrease in WOMAC, pain, stiffness, and function score from baseline in both the groups. But the important thing was that the curcumin was found to be as effective as ibuprofen with lower incidence of gastrointestinal adverse events in most of the patients. Thus, it showed that curcumin is as effective as NSAIDs but has better gastrointestinal tolerability. There are 100 patients with osteoarthritis who were again treated with curcumin for 8 months, and the results were again encouraging. There was a significant decrease in the serum inflammatory biomarkers, more than 50% decrease in WOMAC score, and 3-fold increase in treadmill walking performance. In patients already on NSAIDs and analgesic, co-administration of curcumin was associated with decreased need for use of NSAIDs, and there was a marked reduction in the gastrointestinal side effect. So this trial showed that curcumin is effective and safe for the long-term management of osteoarthritis. Now, combination therapy of curcumin with diclofenac. 88 patients with primary knee osteoarthritis were randomized to receive diclofenac alone or diclofenac with curcumin for 3 months. And as compared to diclofenac monotherapy, combination of curcumin with diclofenac was associated with greater pain relief, better improvement in knee injury and osteoarthritis score, and it showed that when combined with the NSAID, it provides additional benefit. Now, combination therapy of curcumin. Curcumin, when given along with the celecoxib, it enhances action of celecoxib on COX-2, decreases the need for celecoxib. When given in combination with the prednisolone, it provides additive anti-inflammatory action through inhibition of inflammatory cytokines. There is a significant reduction in the joint swelling. There is a reduction in side effects due to steroids. You can reduce the dose of steroids when you use it with curcumin. When it is administered with the methotrexate, it provides synergistic anti-arthritic action and may help to reduce the dose of methotrexate. And also, there is a reduced risk of hepatotoxicity and hematological toxicities. If you look at the safety profile of curcumin, it is generally recognized as safe by the US FDA. No noticeable adverse events were observed with dose up to 8 grams daily for 3 months. Unlike NSAIDs, it's free from adverse effects on kidney, liver, or cardiovascular system even after long-term use. Only occasional patients may complain of mild and transient nausea or diarrhea. So unlike NSAIDs, steroids and disease-modifying rheumatoid drugs, curcumin is very well tolerated by most of the patients. A novel formulation of curcumin. If you use a conventional curcumin, it has got many limitations, like it is poorly water soluble, polyphenolic compound, and it is poorly absorbed from the GI tract. It is undetectable in the plasma and doesn't reach systemic organs and tissue. So the efficacy of conventional curcumin is doubtful. The clinical trials carried out with conventional curcumin have used high doses up to 12 grams per day. Few studies have not shown positive results, and it has got poor gastrointestinal tolerability. Therefore, there is a need for bioavailable, effective, and well-tolerated curcumin formulation. So now we come to a bio-enhanced curcumin. To overcome limitations of conventional curcumin, a novel formulation of curcumin using self-microemulsifying drug delivery system, that is a SMED, has been developed. This technology provides nano-sized hydrophilic droplets of curcumin, improved absorption, and better tissue penetration, eventually leading to better bioavailability. What is the dosage? The exact dose may vary from patient to patient depending upon the disease severity, degree of inflammation, and patient response. Majority of the patients with mild to moderate inflammation usually respond to 100 to 200 milligram per day. And if required, one can increase the dose up to 400 milligram per day. So in summary, what is this bioenhanced curcumin? It inhibits the master switch of inflammation, that is NF-κB. It decreases the release of inflammatory prostaglandins and cytokines. Monotherapy found to be effective and safe in treatment of rheumatoid and osteoarthritis. The efficacy is at par with NSAIDs, but with better gastrointestinal tolerability. It can be used along with NSAIDs, steroids, and provides additive and synergistic action and helps in dose reduction of NSAIDs and steroids. It can be used along with the methotrexate, and it helps to reduce the hepatotoxicity, which is usually the case with the methotrexate. And unlike biologics, it can be given orally, is safe, and it is well tolerated. Thus, it is a suitable option for monotherapy as well as a combination therapy. What is the role of bioenhanced curcumin? What is its place in therapy? It is an attractive option in the management of both rheumatoid and osteoarthritis, either as a monotherapy or combination therapy. It is particularly useful option in following group of patients: those who are intolerant to NSAIDs, steroids, or disease-modifying anti-rheumatoid drugs; those who have got a compromised renal function; those who have got a hepatic dysfunction; and those with cardiovascular disorders, hypertension, and chronic heart failure. It is effective, safe, and well-tolerated treatment option. Let's make life pain-free. Thank you very much.